Hello, human peoples. You're listening to the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. To support us and gain access to great exclusive podcasts like Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and our latest show, Spiel Boys, head over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We do game streaming, movie nights with our patrons every Friday night, and you can even commission your own podcast about anything you want. Literally anything, within reason, and we have to do it. You are quite frankly out of excuses not to go visit patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Hypecast mit Tom Reimann und David Bell.
Is this the show?
Yeah, this is the show.
This could be the show. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We're an episode of Hypecast!
Hypecast.
Show where we get hyped about stuff and things. I'm your co-host, Tom Reimann.
I'm your other co-host, David Bell.
I am neither of those people. I'm a guest, and I'm not telling you who I am.
Mystery guest.
Ah, brilliant. We've never done this before.
Yeah.
Okay, so by the end of the episode, we will have to use context clues
Right.
to discover your identity.
Brilliant.
Mystery guest, how are you doing
I am doing well.
the pregnancy with Tom's baby?
Exactly. I was going to say
You gotta
first
narrow
clue.
it down even more.
First clue. I'm two people, sort of, right now.
You are? Oh my God, that's
True,
horrifying.
yeah. You're like a weird mutant.
Yes.
Can you feel their thoughts? Her thoughts in there?
I can feel when she's mad.
Right.
Every time we get an ultrasound, she gets really irritated and starts punching things.
Oh
Just
wow.
like, get this out of my face.
Yeah,
Our
that checks out.
Her latest pictures are really great. I'll have to send them to you.
Yeah,
Please do. I think
are
I saw
delightful.
one already. Yeah.
We should seriously tell people your name, though.
Oh, fair. All right, I'm Marina Reimann.
Hey!
Nice to see you.
Welcome. I mean, it'll be on the title of the
I know.
podcast too. I wasn't going to do Hypecast featuring question marks, although we really should do.
We should
it would
do
be really
that. We
funny
should
to do a mystery guest.
Hypecast featuring mystery, like the
That would be
actual
fun.
person
Yeah.
Oh.
mystery.
The pickup artist
Yeah.
mystery. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Welcome. I forgot like how we formally do it because we're just pals talking. Because you should. Do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Yeah.
At the start of this, welcome. What do you got going on?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You're the guest.
Just cooking a baby, mostly.
Yeah.
In the legal way. But,
Right.
We'll see.
I'm
We'll
gonna
see
be-
what the courts decide. We'll convince them.
You can find me sometimes, maybe about once a week, streaming at twitch.tv/heartfistbrain, which is also my Twitter/X handle and my Patreon. But I haven't been able to do it very much because it's been a really difficult pregnancy. But, if you listen to Michael Swaim's Tales from the Pit on Small Beans, you can hear more about this baby. And Tom's on there, too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the most recent episode.
Yeah, not sure when that's actually coming out, if it's already out at the time of this recording. But yeah,
It'll
That's
be out
true.
at
check
some
that out.
point.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was a good,
Yeah.
cool
I'm
conversation.
excited to hear that. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I
thanks
mean,
for being on the show.
Thank you so much
Thank
for having
you.
me.
Of course. Are you
course.
excited for movies? You guys are definitely going to be watching lots of movies.
We are,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
We're
In
going to
the
be
future.
seeing all of these movies in the
All
theater.
these trailers.
Mhm. Every single one of them.
Listen,
No.
the first movie I ever watched
just-
was Ghostbusters, and that came out June 1984. I was born July, so that means my mom took me as a baby.
11 months. Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
about right.
wow.
I'm
And
going to get her
so-
in there like month 3 because I'm not missing Alien.
Yeah.
We've talked about this.
Oh,
Marina and I have
God,
had this
we have.
discussion. Yeah, we've had this like, listen,
Honestly,
I'm
like,
going to see Alien.
yeah, do like a late showing or like go to like a place that you know there's not going to be that many people.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, or fuck them.
Oh man, I don't know if we can be that big of dicks.
No,
Although
no.
I am pretty devastated that I'm going to miss Deadpool versus Wolverine because I've been
I
waiting for that
know.
movie for years.
You gotta hold that against her for years, right?
Well,
You
yeah.
gotta just keep that grudge inside of
Add
you.
it to the list.
Like her middle name is I Missed Alien.
Just imagine you guys like
Yeah.
20 years from now just glaring at her at a family
Still so
dinner.
angry
Yeah.
Ew.
about this movie that nobody
It's
even
like, you
remembers
guys-
anymore at
you
that point.
saw the movies, like that you could still, yeah. I mean, at that point, she's not going to know what movies are.
No,
You're going to have to
Yeah.
explain
Yeah.
movies were like a thing that we used to do
It's a thing
instead of
we
the
used to-
holodeck or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or before we just had drones carve them into our brains, Total Recall
Right.
style.
Yes.
Oh, that would be so cool.
That would be pretty
Yeah.
chill.
You
Yeah.
get to be the actor.
Yeah. Oh yeah, AI man. You get to be in. You get to have the chest burster in you.
Oh
Thanks
God!
to the
what
magic
have
of
we always
AI.
wanted.
Yeah.
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 That sounds like the future of movies.
God, yeah.
Speaking of the future
So-
of movies.
We have movies to talk about. This is a weird week. This is a weird week of trailer. I mean, and I mean that in a good way. But first, we got to thank some producers.
Let's do it.
So let's do that. Big old thank you to @NerdNumbers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to Zero Charisma.
Thank you.
Thank you to 2001: A Space McNulty Odyssey.
Thanks so much.
Thank you to Aaron Burser.
Thank you.
Thank you to AJ.
Thank you.
Thank you to Andrew. Marina deserves more hype. McGuire.
Aw.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to Andrew Howe. Demands a single act of
Oh,
kindness.
we shall dazzle you with our acts of
We'll
our
see.
many acts of kindness.
We'll see. Thank you to Asking Seven.
Thank you. Let me swoop in here. Thank you to Ballet Karate Hulk.
Thank
Deadly
you.
combination. Thank you to Bob Grenville.
Thank you.
Thank you to Brian, who Tom knows.
It's true.
Thank you to Brockway Loves the Meat Millie.
Thank you.
Thank you to Burrito Says water, gym, sunscreen, kung fu, sky, self-care.
Woo!
Thank you to Chester's Prophet.
Thank you.
And thank you to Christopher Robert Sparks, Esquire.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I
Thank
briefly went cross-eyed. I apologize.
you. Did you? So my brain right now. I just got home from a thing and like this is. I just because we're recording on the 4th of July, which we could have not done, but who gives a shit? It's also a Thursday.
It's a third. I
so
wasn't
it's like,
doing anything.
Yeah, exactly. This is all to say that like I've just had a weird day and I got home and we started podcasting and I've like literally just like forgotten what it means to do podcasts all of a sudden. So I'm like checking to be like I'm recording, right? Like I'm doing all the things you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
And I am. Good news is I am.
I'm at
Excellent.
that age and right level of corrective lens requirement that like I've been working all day already, so I've been looking
Right.
at the screen. So we've reached the point of the day where my eyes start to drift.
Right.
So I almost
Yep.
said Christopher Prophet Sparks Esquire.
Ooh, that's a good name too. You could have done that.
So I had to
Yeah.
stop myself.
Let's talk about Hellboy, the
Let's do
crooked
it.
man.
Woo,
What a
yeah. I
weird.
I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me here.
Yeah, listen. This came out of fucking nowhere.
Well, I remember reading about its development a little bit.
Oh, okay. This is I don't mean to be offensive about this. My first thought was, is this a fan film? I thought it was a fan film.
Well, technically, yes, Dave, because
They're all
every
fans.
filmmaker of Hellboy is a fan.
It is someone I do not know playing Hellboy. It's clear like this is again this. All right, I should say this doesn't look bad. This looks good.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Oh man, I'm excited about it because I feel like Hellboy and his company, they can house most of the threats that we've seen.
Right.
They've faced the end of the world and all that, and just there's nothing left for them to fight, you'd think. So putting them in a horror movie is awesome. It makes me uneasy for them again, which is very fun.
Yeah,
And,
I really
yeah.
like that tone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is
It,
like a real minimalist horror movie, which is
Yes.
it is a slightly disappointing in terms of, you can see that it is really low, very low budget.
Right. That's why.
It's like, man, he couldn't scrape together some Hellboy dough, but he looks fine. Like, he looks pretty good, and it looks like just a creepy, like, bottle episode of Hellboy, like him dropped into this spooky forest and he has to solve this mystery about this crooked man creature. That's cool. I think I'm into this.
I think they did the right thing with this, because when I say, all right, so the fan film stuff, before I saw the trailer, just like stills and stuff, it just was like, who's that guy? You know, like it was that vibe of like, oh, this is like, you know, when there was like a direct-to-DVD sequel of something where it's like, okay, we don't really have anybody. But
this is the Dan Castellaneta genie.
Yes. It's clear that they shot in the woods. It all takes place, it seems to be, in a cabin in the woods, because maybe budget. We're bearing the lead. This is one of the directors of Crank.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and Crank High Voltage and Gamer and Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. They went on to do Mom and Dad. If you're wondering which director of Crank, it's Brian Taylor. And this is all to say that gives me more optimism. And then, like you said, this looks like a one-shot. This looks like a Dread. This looks like, all right, we'll do a quick. And then the fact that they would this is all to say that I think they did all the right stuff with what they were working with.
Yeah.
Like, they knew, okay, we can't get a name for this. We don't have much money for this. Let's not do a Golden Army. Let's just do this like one shot, and this could be really good for that reason.
It does look cool. I like the minimalist approach.
Yeah.
I'm also really hoping that it spawns another Hellboy board game. Because the one that we've got is really fun.
I've never played.
Yeah. Oh, and another thing, I love seeing subtitles in a trailer, and I almost never get to see that.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Thank you for that accessibility, guys.
Yeah, it was like a stylistic
to this.
addition. It looked like the typography and the witch and stuff. So it was, clearly about the mood as well. But yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah.
Is the Crooked Man like a thing?
I know it's one of the books, but I didn't read a lot of them. I read a few of them, but not very many. So I'm not like a very knowledgeable fan of Hellboy. But I do recognize the Crooked Man as being a title of at least one of the short stories, if not a full book.
Awesome.
Okay. One of the
And it says that Mike Mignola is involved in the beginning of the trailer, so that's cool.
Ooh.
Yeah, he has a writing credit, and so does Brian Taylor, the director, which is good because Crank is batshit.
Yeah,
so,
I was thinking,
I think Hellboy can be batshit.
Yeah, I was thinking of Ghost Rider because that's another horror superhero property, and they did the sequel, which was bonkers.
Yeah,
and
which was so good, it was perfect.
Nick Cage pissing fire.
Nick, the combination of the Crank directors and Nick Cage, you're like, oh, of course. Of course.
I'm amazed anyone survived.
Yeah. Oh, my God. But this one, it looks like... So, this is, again, I don't think a bad thing, but I am kind of disappointed because I don't think it's going to be as unhinged. I think they're going for more straight-up horror.
This does
felt
look...
like a straight-up horror.
Yeah, I wanted to say for a movie trailer featuring Hellboy, this felt surprisingly restrained.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's weird because I feel like the thing about Hellboy, and I don't know much about Hellboy, I just know the movies, but my vibe has always been he looks at the things you see in horror movies as being a threat and being like, psh, whatever. Like he goes after the creatures that go bump in the night, right? So like it's weird to think that he would be threatened in a horror movie, but also maybe he isn't. Maybe it's not really from his perspective. You know what I mean? Like,
That's usually how the other movies have handled it. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's something.
Maybe it's a horror movie for the Crooked Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's God of War. Like Kratos in God of War, they take these mythological demons and stuff, and then he just embarrasses them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
He just
tears
like rips
their
off their head.
asshole out or
Yeah.
stuff.
And that's the funny part of it. And so that's how I think of Hellboy.
It is very funny in this, like,
Yeah.
because it's it's very moodily lit, like gray lights and a lot of fog and this old timey looking forest, even though it's modern because it's Hellboy. And then plopped in the middle of it is this giant red demon.
Yeah, this jackass. That's what it feels like. He's in the wrong movie,
Yeah.
which again I like that they've trying something new because this is the fourth Hellboy. Yeah, try something
Yeah.
new.
And the second reboot.
Yes.
I think it's going to be good. I really do. I
looks
was
cool.
nervous. It made me anxious. I was thinking, we've seen him fight off much bigger odds,
Yeah.
but this is still making me nervous,
Yeah, and it doesn't really matter as long as the drama is there,
Yeah.
Also, I guess technically there's been Hellboy cartoons, haven't there?
Yeah, there's been at least 2 animated ones.
Yeah, so I don't know how you count it, but yeah, live action, this is number 4. And like I don't know, so far all of them have had some value, all
yeah.
of them have been enjoyable. It's such a weird character. And it's weird that we keep making them because it's not like Batman, you know what I mean? Like it's again, I keep thinking of Dredd because Dredd is like there's not a huge audience for it, but then when they make a Dredd, it is enjoyable for one reason or
yes.
another. Yeah.
We saw that 4 or 5 times in the theater when it
Oh
came
yeah.
out.
You're talking about the Sylvester
Stallone one, yeah.
Stallone one.
Oh, not the Stallone one, not Judge Dredd, but Dredd, Carl
Rob
Urban.
Schneider. Yeah. That one's so good.
I actually did see the Stallone Judge Dredd in the theater.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, people were seeing it in the theater at the time. What do you do?
Yeah.
I think we can move on. Unless
Yeah,
anybody has
let's
any
talk
thoughts.
about Bando, Stone, and the New World. Right away, this is one of those titles that I'm going to constantly get wrong. It sounds like so many other things.
Yeah.
It's like Lars and the Real Girl. No. This is Donald Glover writing, directing, and starring. I looked it up.
Yep.
In a movie that this trailer just dropped. There's no release date. It is apparently also an album. But this is about a guy who's a singer, a Donald Glover type.
A real Donald Glover character.
Yeah, there is a fucking wild apocalypse happening. And it's about kind of the fact that he has no value.
Right. Yeah. It's
he
how
can't do
useless he
anything.
is in a post-apocalyptic scenario. She's like,
Yeah.
He meets up this lady and this kid, and she's going through. Can you cook? Can you hunt? Can you do any of these things? He's like, no, I can sing. And she says, oh, so you're useless.
Yeah. And right away, the apocalypse in this, I don't know what the fuck this is.
It's
Yeah.
pretty sweet.
I
It
love
is.
it. I have no idea what this movie is really about, what's happening, and I'm sold, which is all I ask of a trailer.
Me
And,
too. This is
yeah.
This is a great trailer because it says it focuses on the character, right? Which is like this is what this character's arc is going to be, and I'm like, got it. And
Right,
they
he's
don't
kind of
like
buffoonish and real,
Yeah.
he seems earnest, but clearly is like, he is
Right.
kind of useless in this situation.
it feels like an Edgar Wright movie.
A little bit, yeah. I was thinking that.
And then we see this apocalypse, and there are what appears to be some sort of monsters like dinosaurs. It feels like they're specifically doing like Jurassic Park imagery here and there.
But with
And then
lasers, like alien
Yes.
lasers, too.
And then there's like weird Tron-ass
Yeah,
lasers.
that was the thing that
Yeah.
stuck out. I didn't even, I'm not sure I noticed the dinosaurs. It was, there's these huge geometric shapes just ripping through the landscape at night. It's crazy, and it's not like any way that I've seen an alien invasion represented in a movie.
But it absolutely is an alien invasion, right? And
it seems
I
like
love,
it. Yeah, it
Must
seems
be.
like it.
I think it's aliens, and then I think the aliens, because if you watch it, there's like creatures in it.
Yeah, I couldn't tell what they were.
Yeah, and so like a couple of them looked like Like the lasers are weird as hell, and then there's one that looks like some sort of large warthog. I'm watching the trailer right now. There is a
like
giant
boar.
squid on the beach.
That's
Ooh.
right.
There's like
That's right.
neon spider webs. Then there's like emus but they are like weird and colorful. And so like, okay, all right, I have a guess. I have a solid guess for what this is.
Let's hear it.
It is alien terraforming.
Ooh.
So
that
they
could
are
be.
changing
Like
the
an
nature of the
evolution
planet.
sitch?
Like Annihilation.
Yeah, like Annihilation.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
I think it's aliens coming down and terraforming Earth so that like all these creatures are like being created or adapting really fast. Because if you look at some of the shots, there's like lasers making like a grid behind them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like it looks like the cover of a Trapper Keeper in the 90s. It's made out of lasers.
It does.
It's nuts. It's the strangest way to show a creature.
And what's frustrating to me is that it shouldn't be as nuts as it is. And what I mean by that is like, and this isn't like a new thing. It's wild how uncreative we sometimes are with things like aliens.
I know, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where it's like, why do they have to be in a ship? Why do they have to be in a saucer? Like, it's very few and far in between to something do. You know, Nope is a recent example.
Oh,
Such a
love
good idea.
Nope.
But, like, this is such a weird example. The Forgotten, where the people fly into the sky instead of getting, like, beamed up. Little things like that where you're like, oh, that is a cool way to do that. That is something I haven't seen, you know?
Yeah, that's true, yeah. And speaking of Edgar Wright, it's Edgar Wright adjacent, but it wasn't him. Attack the Block. The aliens in that one are pretty sweet. That was Joe Wright? No, that's not right.
I think they've done one other thing that.
It was the kid who
Marina,
would be
you
king,
saw that, right?
I did not, actually. It's on my list, though.
Oh,
It's a
that's
good
right.
one.
We should watch it. I'm pretty sure we have watched it, but it might have been
have we?
It might have been like 10 years
Oh,
ago.
sorry.
It's a movie that, like, you know why it's Joe Cornish. Why
Cornish,
John
that's right.
Boyega became a thing. Where you watch that and you're like, man, he's a fucking star. You know?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
great in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this movie looks fun and charming in that Donald Glover way.
Yeah.
And also,
it's
just
amazing.
rad in the
He's
ideas
so
of it.
versatile.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think Bando is a play on Lando? Or just a happy
It could be.
accident?
That's another. I feel like he designed this title to erase itself because like I was looking at the AV Club and the AV Club has a correction at the bottom that says like we misspelled the title several times, and it's because you look at that and you go like Brando.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, you keep my brain keeps filling in stuff that's not there.
Yeah, and the New World I keep thinking the Real World, and so I keep
yeah.
being like it's Brando Storm in the Real World or something like that, and it's like it's cool that it's such a weird title,
Yeah.
but it's gonna take a couple like times of saying it.
Oh, the New World. You know, you're probably right, Dave, because the New World,
The
it probably
New
is a
World.
terraforming
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
You're right,
I didn't think of that.
man. All right, everybody, fucking remember this, please.
Yes.
We've
Yeah.
had some predictions that's gone right in the past, so. Should we talk about this next one?
Sure.
Definitely.
1992. The moment I saw the title, I was like, well, that can't be good. Like,
Isn't that-
1992 is not great. It's not a great year.
Yeah.
This is, again, from executive producer Snoop Dogg. That was the other thing that made me go like, oh, my God.
Death Row Films, I think it said.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it's about a shopkeeper during the 1992 LA riots with it's Scott Eastwood, Ray Liotta,
And Tyrese Gibson.
and Tyrese Gibson. And it is like a thriller, it looks like, right?
Yeah.
It's Ray Liotta's last film.
Yeah. Oh, everybody
Scott Eastwood.
Go
pour
ahead.
one out for him, but not in the theater.
Yeah. No, don't do that. I worked in a theater. I assume Scott Eastwood is perhaps related to a Clint Eastwood.
He sure is, Dave. We had this.
just checking.
We went on this journey, I think, back with the Pacific Rim sequel.
I got to be honest with you. We will continue to go on this journey.
Speaking of John Boyega,
He's one of those guys where, like, I couldn't pick him out of a lineup.
yeah, he's very dope. He's
Yeah.
a very dope man.
Yeah, and it's nothing against him because
No.
I don't know. I don't know if he's a good actor. I don't remember. I'm
He's
sorry,
very Scott
Scott.
Eastwood.
Yeah. Yeah, Ray Liotta looks good in this. It looks good.
It reminds me of. It looks like a little bit like a Training Day or Dark Blue.
Yeah.
Just because it's about like super crooked cops.
Yes.
During a very notable event in crooked cop history, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does not seem, because this is one of those premises that's like, this could go one or two ways. This could be like a Daily Wire film.
Yes, yeah.
But this is clearly like, this is the LA uprising and the cops are bad. And we're going to tell us, and it's a great setting for this idea, right? Of like a
we
thriller.
watched.
There appears to be some sort of like, almost like a heist premise in here.
Yes, yeah. It's like there's a heist in the middle of the riots going on.
It's a great time to have a heist.
Yeah.
Yeah. We covered something recently too. That was, I think it was season 2 of Them. That it was set during this time as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's interesting for this to be coming back around in everything's cyclical, where it's like, we had a bunch of OJ stuff like a couple of years ago, just in terms of the major news stories of the 90s, and now we've gone as far back as 1992 now. So
yeah, there's definitely
to see
like
more
relevancy here.
Of course, I expect we're going to see a lot of movies about the LA riots.
Right. They should adapt that one Sublime song,
Which
everybody
song is
wants that. I think it's called April 26, 1992.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's fine. It's fine. It's whatever. Folks.
It's Sublime.
It's one of those where Sublime's like, we're gonna weigh in, and it's like, sure, man. I don't really care what you were up to, but it's fine. It's fine, Sublime.
Yeah, but now we know.
Now we know. I'm glad we know. But yeah, the director, I've never really seen anything they've done. I don't know. I'm curious.
Who is the director?
Their name is Ariel Vroman.
Oh.
It's a dude. But they did The Iceman. It's just like none of these look bad or good. They just are things I haven't seen,
Mm-hmm.
The Angel and The Iceman. These are all like call signs.
Haven't seen any of those. They are call signs.
Yeah. Criminal. None of this means anything because this looks like, he did Criminal, has Kevin Costner in it and Ryan Reynolds. When did this happen?
Oh, I remember that movie.
2016. Gal Gadot. Carrie Oldman. Did they make this in secret? Tommy Lee Jones?
Wow.
Where did they all make a secret movie?
I have vague memories of this coming out. Yeah, it was while we were at Cracked.
I'm gonna watch the shit out of Criminal.
It's one of those movies like Money Monster.
Yeah, where you go back and you're like, when did this happen?
When the hell did this come out?
Oh my
Kevin
goodness.
Spacey cat movie, 9 Lives.
9 Lives.
What?
We saw that in theaters.
Oh, we
Tom.
did. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
I
did
think I
go
saw
see
that.
it.
We all saw it
I'm
in
pretty
theaters.
sure you were there with us. Yeah.
Yeah.
That movie's
That was
darker.
crazy.
Yeah, the movie's kind of dark.
Yeah.
We had to track it
got
down
darker.
at like a Regal.
Yeah. Why did we do that?
I think you know why we did it.
Yeah. Anyway, 1992.
1992.
Looks good.
This looks good. Yeah, and I'm.
Yeah.
I don't want to say excited because that's not the right word, but like
No.
I am looking forward to seeing more stuff about this time period.
Yeah,
For sure.
I'd like to see more coverage of this. It's good. I think it's an important thing for us to talk about right now.
Oh yeah, we're also unfortunately going to get a bunch of nostalgia. We're going to get like a Stranger Things for the 90s, right? Like we're going to start getting 90s nostalgia
Of
stuff
course.
where it's going to be. I mean, I've already seen that
Yeah,
where
with
people
Captain
do the
Marvel.
like. Oh yeah, but also like people are like, look how better McDonald's and Taco Bell's looked in the 90s. And I kind of get that, but it also was kind of a clown show in the 90s
Yeah.
where it was like every building looked different and nothing matched each other. And it all kind of looked like shit.
You're just kind of seeing the dashed dreams of former franchisees.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, there's 16 different colored chairs in this McDonald's.
Oh no.
Yeah. Like I get it on paper, the idea of like why aren't fast food places looking like cooler. But it's like they all chose a different aesthetic, and then they were all on the same street, and it just looked kind of like shit.
Yeah.
Should we talk about the Critic?
I think we
Sure.
should.
We all had different expectations
Yeah.
here. I see.
I like Tom's the most.
I did have a small, I don't know, in the back of my brain. I was like, is this the Jay Sherman movie? Are they making a Critic movie?
Yeah, the Gritty with fucking Ian McKellen.
No, yeah, it's an Ian McKellen movie. Just seeing it in the doc, I didn't see that it was Ian McKellen. But anyway.
Oh yeah. He's all right? He fell.
I didn't see that.
Oh, he fell off the stage.
What?
Oh,
At a
wait,
thing.
yes, I did read that, yeah.
Let me check. Let me see if Ian McKellen's all right before we talk about him.
Yeah.
I mean, last time I checked, okay, he had to pull out of it
Whoa.
because of his fall. I'm sure he's fine, but he's an old guy,
he's
you
pretty,
know.
he's pretty old.
It sounds like he didn't want to. He's a firecracker, you know, like
He is.
Yeah. But he's 85. Yeah, he fell off the stage. Boy,
Shit.
he went to the hospital.
That would take me out.
Yeah, I know. That's the
Just
thing.
like, I can't imagine falling off a stage at 85. God.
Oof.
It sounds like he's doing all right, though. He's just, he's 85 and fell off a stage, which is like, if there was a brief moment where people were like, is he alive? And like, had he passed, I'm glad he didn't, that would have been the most Ian McKellen way to go.
It would have, yeah.
Which is like in a play, falling off the stage.
Yep.
Like, yeah,
Everybody's come back.
getting
We'll
so
find
worked
out
up.
somebody
No.
said Macbeth,
Really?
and that's why
Yeah.
he's dead.
Yeah, exactly.
He did Richard III. I was about to say
Fucking
there
Peter
is a
kids.
Macbeth movie he put out, and I mean I'm certain he's probably played Macbeth, but I was
I'm
thinking of
sure.
the Richard III movie anyway.
Yeah.
So
Anyway,
this movie-
he plays a catty little film critic, I believe.
Yes.
Mark Strong's there. That's all I know about it. It's just like a story of a critic.
Well, yeah, it's like a period piece in I guess early mid 20th century London.
According
or
to
not
this, it's a
London.
whodunit.
Yeah, it's he gets like his career demolished or dashed somehow by Mark Strong, and he's kind of like, it seems like he's sort of like Count of Monte Cristoing him
Sign
to
me
get
the
back
fuck
at
up.
him. Yeah, it seems like a really fun premise.
Yeah.
And
Like-
he's very fun to watch. He's very sassy.
Yes.
It looks like he's having the best time.
Yes, he is sassing it up as this role.
Yeah,
It's great.
Man, it's just a fun idea, and I love when movies, when high stakes movies are made out of very low stakes things.
Oh yeah.
That really tickles me.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like he's this critic, and I don't know. It's you get what I'm saying.
Oh no, I've literally I was thinking about this of like I want to write a movie about like a book club that like this like I think that's already been done, or like something where it's like it descends into murder.
Well, yeah,
You know, like
yes, yeah.
it gets so intense that like it just turns into madness.
Stop stealing my ideas.
Yeah. Or like-
for all of their, yeah.
Yeah, or like a group of people who like work together at a retail store or something like
Yeah.
that, and it just becomes an absolute. Yeah, I think that story needs to be told several times.
I think it has. But anyway,
Probably. Speaking of kind of not low stakes, but yeah, I guess it's a low. I don't know.
it's pretty
Tokyo
charmingly
Cowboy.
low stakes. Yeah.
Yeah. This is very indie. This is about a guy, a Japanese businessman who goes
He's taking over
to Montana
Yeah.
and buys a cattle ranch.
We're talking about Tokyo Cowboy.
Yeah. And he needs to blend in, and so he becomes a cowboy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this movie already. Just, it's original, beautifully filmed, and super Japanese. And it's
It is.
nice not to have, successful movie, the sequel, part 5. And it's
Yeah.
gotten just like really good reception so far. I need this movie.
Oh, did you look up the I haven't looked up any critics or anything for it.
It's got a lot of awards so far, and at the film festivals that it's been at, people have just loved it.
Oh, cool. Yeah, this yeah, I'm very excited for this. The director, I looked at the director. The most notable thing he's done is behind the scene documentaries of other movies.
Cool. I mean, that's the guy who made the Empty Man, right?
Yeah,
exactly. And so I was just like, oh, okay. So this is like, it's not. I can't tell if it's his first official movie. Looks like he did some TV stuff. Okay, it looks like he did shorts. It's all to say that like this. Yeah, it looks like an aggressively charming movie. Mm-hmm. Aggressively.
Yeah,
it's adorable.
I think you mentioned, I can't remember if we were recording yet, but you mentioned Lars and the Real Girl earlier. And I'm getting a little bit of those vibes at this movie just because he's trying to connect. Like the problem he's having is the culture clash. Like he's taking over this company and he's telling them how we're going to make a fortune if we swap out the cattle you've been using for like, I think Wago beef. And he's just not, they're not connecting. He can't speak English very well. So it becomes this movie about just human connection. At least that's what it seems like in the trailer.
Yeah.
And that part of it, in addition to like the fish out of water cuteness of it, like that part of it really appealed to me. And that's what made me think of Lars and the Real Girl. Yeah.
And I just looked it up. One of the writers, she is in fact Japanese. Which I think is like a key component is that this is from that it's from the perspective of coming to America from Japan as opposed to like I compared it to like a reverse Crocodile Dundee or something like that, where it's sort of Crocodile Dundee was like a novelty, right? Which was like, get a load of this. He's going to do all the Australian things. This just feels more of a grounded version of that, where it's like fish out of water, but not in like a broad comedy sense.
Right. Yeah.
If this was made in the 90s, if this was made in the 90s, it would be a wildly different film, I feel like.
It would be powerfully racist.
Yep.
Yeah. Or at least loud, you know what I mean, depending on who made it.
That's true.
It would be true. But yeah, this is like a much more like that. I think that's what makes it really good this is like a broad comedy premise that's just played completely straight. It's still funny, don't get me wrong, but it's like it doesn't feel like it's mean to anybody.
Yeah,
it's not like look at these hicks.
It's not mean spirited. Yeah, right. It's not making the farmers on the ranch look bad either.
Nope.
No, it's not. The challenge is they basically say at the beginning that it's the cattle ranch itself is the challenge.
Yeah.
Like that's just not a money making thing. It's basically what they do, which that makes sense with agriculture in America, where it's like starting a small cattle ranch isn't exactly great. You have to get bought out by what's that big one?
I'm not sure. I think we did anyway.
This is the one I'm the most excited about as far as all the upcoming movies, I think.
Yeah. I was thinking of Monsanto, right?
I thought they were vegetables.
They are.
I think there are a lot of things, but
they are. Yeah, they're mostly extremely sinister.
In a Monsanto cast.
They have their like chemicals and shit have caused some problems and some cancer, and they definitely do a lot of like buying out and like pushing around small farmers. Ugh. I don't think they'll be represented in this film, so I think we're good.
Yeah. Tokyo Cowboy.
Anything else to say? Because Marina, you were quite excited for this, so and I get why, for sure.
Yeah, it's just gonna be it seems like a really nice movie that's gonna make you feel good to watch, and is gonna stay with you. And I just love that it's original, it's gorgeous, and it is made by Japanese folks, so it's not gonna be one of those, it's like you said, it's important that perspective is represented properly, and I think it's going to make it very unique.
Yeah, I think it's more interesting that way because it could be done any way. It doesn't. But like, I don't know. It just and I'm trying to think of like the last feel good film that I've seen, and they do exist.
Yeah.
But it's hard for a feel good film to be interesting, right?
I mean,
Chef's a feel-good film, isn't it? Was Chef a feel-good film? Sound of Metal was kind of feel-good. It wasn't like
Man, Sound of Metal kind of really terrified me.
Yeah, but ultimately it's very optimistic.
It is.
I like
yes.
a movie that deals with darkness. Oh, everything everywhere all at once.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I think for a feel-good film to be really good feel-good, it has to face the darkness of a situation in a way.
It has to address something that actually resonates and not plenty of other films are about similar things but not addressing something with actual depth to it. It'll be very surface level, and I think that's why movies like Everything Everywhere and the others that we mentioned, it's because they focused on something that is actually a real and complicated thing that people have to deal with. And so when you address it in the movie in a positive way that doesn't feel fake or like dream logic or dream thinking rather, that's what resonates with people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for example, I do enjoy Love Actually, but that's a film that it's like that movie, once you pull a thread on that movie, it all comes apart.
There's a few issues with Love Actually.
Yeah.
But
should we talk about this next trailer, or do we have to? Because I didn't realize
we can skip this one.
I'm fine skipping it.
Sounds good.
I'll tell people, Industry was on this, but it's like season 3, and we all realized we didn't even know this show existed.
Yeah.
So we have nothing.
Absolutely nothing to say. Jon Snow's in it. Kit Harington.
Good for him. Let's talk about Afraid.
All right.
Okay. Megan 2.
Yeah.
It's very Megan. It's very Megan.
It feels almost pre-Megan.
It does. You're right, because Megan was leaning more into the WTF of it, the meme-ness of it. This one is, you're right, does feel like a more dated spook 'em up premise.
Feels like somebody was sitting on this for too many years.
Yes, that is honestly what it feels like. And then by the time they're like, "By God, we're gonna do it."
Maybe
this feels
Megan
like a
is what got it
2010
made.
film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway,
maybe.
sorry. We
If
should say
you
what it
Google
is.
movies about evil AI, you get so fucking many.
Mm-hmm.
This is it's evil Siri.
Evil Alexa. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to say
Didn't
her
want to say
name.
her
She's
name.
the
Yeah, I'm in
room.
the back room, so I can't.
Yeah. It is.
She's like fucking Beetlejuice.
Yeah, I know. Literally
Don't
today,
say
I was just
her
talking
name.
about. I was just talking about Siri, and it was like, we have such a pushback against AI that I'm realizing, like, I don't even want the stuff that we accepted. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I don't use Alexa, I don't use Siri anymore. They're just in the way.
Yeah. I don't use them either.
Yeah.
I still use Alexa for my grocery list.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even do that.
I'll ask the weather sometimes too, but anyway.
Yeah.
It's not an
This is John's
indispensable
show.
item. Anyway.
Yeah. It's very Megan. It really does feel like this is 10 years too late. Like this feels like a 2015, maybe 2020 premise of a family, and they get a new fucking AI digital assistants in their house. And it fucking, you know the rest.
Yeah, it becomes sinister.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a way where it's protecting them. Again, we've done this. We've done this so many times.
It just came off as silly to me. Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't scared at all, and I'm very easily frightened, so I feel like they're failing.
I know, yeah. If you can't,
I mean,
I almost wrote that in the notes. I was like, if you can't scare Marina, then you need to pack it in.
Yeah.
it is from the director of About a Boy.
Sure.
All right, so the Twilight Saga, New Moon, The Golden Compass, About a Boy, Down to Earth, and American Pie uncredited. I guess he helped out. You know what's not in that list?
Horror movie?
A horror
A
movie?
horror movie. And so, I look, there's been plenty of non-horror directors who've gone on to make horror movies. This doesn't seem like it just doesn't seem scary.
No. Like, one of the scares they tried to do is this filtered family photo.
Oh my
I just
gosh.
started laughing.
It was
'cause
like-
it's got...
Oh no,
Give
please
them, like
finish.
alien
please finish.
faces.
They just, like, put, like, big black eyes or sunglasses on them. I couldn't tell exactly what
Yeah.
it was. But that was supposed to frighten us.
And they gave them Grinch faces, like Grinch smiles.
Oh, that's what that was. Okay.
They got little Grinch smiles. It looked like somebody trying to do the creepy smile on
Yeah.
like their Instagram filter or something, and it just looked goofy as hell.
Apparently, David Dastmalchian is in this, which I
Okay.
didn't see him at all in the
Yeah.
trailer. Yeah,
No, he probably plays, I don't know, some creep.
yeah, just some fucking weirdo.
Some creep. It's usually what he plays.
Yeah, it
Go ahead.
it doesn't just feel, everything about it feels too late. And what I mean by that is like the aesthetic looks like too late. It looks like early. It again looks like 2010, 2015. The understanding of what AI does, where they do this thing where they're like, the AI, the boyfriend does apparently revenge porn, although it's implied maybe the AI
it's
does
implied
it.
that the
Yeah.
robot did it.
Which I'm not saying isn't a problem. I'm just saying that also feels like a very basic understanding of social media problems. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it feels like it's written by someone who's not really plugged in.
We're too familiar with assistant devices like this for the movie to be telling us that they can do all of these things. When
Yes,
Yeah.
because
they've been common in homes for a decade now, so it's
Right,
like you
and-
can't.
what it does is it drives his car, the ex,
Yeah.
and kills him. And I'm
Yeah.
like, how did it do that? It's a AI in your house.
Yeah.
I guess it goes through it just feels like it was written by a 60-year-old.
It
No offense to
does.
60-year-old, but it's just like someone who, it doesn't even have to be age related. It's someone who isn't plugged in.
Yeah.
It just feels like someone who's has a very,
Limited.
10 years
Yeah.
too late.
Yeah.
Like,
what if AI was evil? And it's like, yeah,
We've been
been
there.
there, yeah.
yeah.
The
We've-
Avengers already did it. Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
We have new AI. We need new AI stories to tell.
I did like Tom's angle. What you suggested, Tom, that it might be. There's like
Oh.
the one saving grace would be if it's what you said it is.
Oh, well, I mean, it seems like it is in the trailer. It seems like they're aliens, which I like that idea of
Yeah.
some
aliens made a technology,
right,
for
or
us.
something is masquerading as a personal assistant, and then you
Yeah.
find
Yeah.
out it's not a artificial intelligence, it's just a creature or some sort of being or a person. I like that idea. There's something creepy about that.
I have that is a good idea. I have an AI premise, but I don't want to say it because I'm
Don't.
actually workshopping it.
Yeah,
They'll
yeah,
record
work
it.
on
They'll record it and use it against you.
They'll record it and use it against me.
Yeah. You keep
But,
that close
like-
to your chest, Dave.
It's all to say there are things to do with AI.
Yeah.
It's just
This just feels it feels like this is what somebody wrote this. Somebody with a poor understanding of tech wrote this back when Alexa first came out. Is what it
Yeah.
feels
Yes.
like. We've already
And-
moved past a lot of the fear about what it does in this movie.
I don't think we really stated hard enough that the movie is called Afraid,
Yeah.
and the AI in Afraid is in red. And I think
Afraid-eyed.
that's Afraid. I just think that's a terrible title. Even if this
Yeah.
looked good, I'm like, oh, come the fuck on.
Yeah.
That is,
Yeah.
goddamn. But yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely gonna watch it because
Well, yeah,
that's
of
what I
course.
do.
I'm not gonna watch the murderous Alexa movie.
Yeah, I just hopefully won't watch it in theaters. I don't know. Shall we talk about Jackpot?
Yeah.
Sure.
You have to say it with emphasis. This is Paul
Jackpot.
The
Feig.
exclamation point is in the title.
It
Yeah.
is.
I am. Maybe the trailer just edited this, but I am very confused about. So it is 10 years from now. It's like 2030, and the world is. And this is a comedy, so it doesn't have to make sense for the record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lottery where you get money, but then everybody gets to purge you for a day.
It's the Running Man.
And they can take your
Yeah.
money if they kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
I don't
it-
know
you're
why
it
we
for a
would do
day.
this.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I feel like we're barreling towards some sort of game show future, so it might as well be the Running Man.
And apparently this is only in California that this is done.
Right,
Ah.
and our main character is just learning about it, and that was like,
Yeah.
how do you move to California and not know that this is happening.
Yeah.
It's very
Word
silly.
might have gotten out.
Yeah, you'd think.
This is, for the record, this is a comedy.
Yeah,
So,
again, yeah, it's a comedy.
but it's one of those things that if this was done seriously, like a serious movie, it would be another one that's way too late, where it's like, we've already done The Purge. But
Yeah,
it's a comedy. It's a Paul Feig comedy. Yeah.
I
and
don't.
plus it's...
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you please.
Oh, all I was going to say is all of the things that we bring up, they don't matter to me about this one because John Cena is in it, and I'll watch literally anything he does. He has me
he's
drive.
pretty funny.
Cena and Aquafina. Hey, that rhymes.
Yeah.
It does.
John Cena, I know he's not balding, but he looks like he's wearing a wig in this.
He might
I wonder
be.
if it
I
was
don't
like
know.
reshoots or something.
Maybe for comedic effect.
Yeah. John Cena in comedies is a delight. I agree with you.
Yes.
So Paul Feig has not, he made Bridesmaid, and then since then I can't really think of anything.
Well, I mean, he did A Simple Favor, which I didn't like. I haven't really liked most of his movies, to be honest.
I like Bridesmaid.
Bridesmaids is all right. That's the one I liked the most. I'm pretty sure.
I liked the idea of the Ghostbusters, and I liked the cast. But
you know what? I haven't seen Spy, and a lot of people have told me that Spy is really funny.
Okay.
So I should watch that one before I
here's what I'll say:
pass
is
judgment on Paul Feig.
looking at the cast, John Cena, again, great he's in this. You know who else is in this? Is Sean William Scott, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll see it just for that.
Sure.
Just for whatever Sean William, because whenever he's in a movie lately, he pops. And he's not in movies as much anymore.
Oh man, I didn't realize he was in that.
Does.
Yeah.
I love what he does when he does it. He had like a bad start, honestly.
Really, you think American Pie was a bad start?
Oh, I think it was good for him. I just think it like typecast him.
That's true. Yeah.
Because then you look at Goon and you're like, God damn, you know?
Yeah, he's pretty great in Goon.
Yeah. He's doing fine.
Yeah. We should tell him what this movie's about, though. We did. John Cena appears as like some sort of secret agent helper to help guide her to victory. I was charmed by this trailer, but I was very confused as to who John Cena is in this movie.
This movie, the trailer feels like a dream you'd have. Like you're trying to describe it.
It's really
and it's
confusing.
like nothing really makes sense.
Yeah.
That's what I mean about the plot. It has to be a comedy. Because otherwise, this is the most convoluted thing where it's like, okay, so in California, there's a lottery. But then if you win, everybody gets to kill you for a day. Why? I don't know. Maybe it's entertainment. It's like a game show. It's like a Mr. Beast thing. But then there's like an agency.
Yeah, that's what it is. He finally purchased the state of California.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
But then there's like an agency, and they help you out. You know what it feels like? It feels like a movie that got lost in the drafts, where it's like it was a very simple plot, and then they kept finding plot holes or being like, but like, oh, we want her to be like an everyman, so someone else has to come in and fight for her.
Yeah. So, but what if this guy was also an everyman, but then he had a dog?
Yeah.
And the dog had a tragic backstory. It's like, okay,
Right.
now we're...
Yeah, like they're plugging leaks, like they're plugging plot holes.
So you eventually get to the point where you're writing the tragic death scene of the dog's mother, and then you kind of stop and be like, how did we get
I think
here?
I need to restart. Yeah.
I need to start over.
I literally had a script. This happened recently with me and someone I was writing with, where we were like, this got away from us. We need to completely raise this. And that's what this feels like, is maybe they got to a point where it's like, we should restart. And it's like,
really
well,
got out of control.
We already got John Cena attached.
Yeah. I mean, it's still, all that said, it looks like fun.
It does.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
it's a comedy. And comedies you can do, The writer is a video game writer.
Really? Who?
Oh.
The writer has made, this is so fucking weird, The Division, they're a writer on. Twilight Zone VR, which apparently is a thing that I'm going to have to check out.
Neat.
Arizona Sunshine 2, Rambo the video game, Crisis 2. So
I want to know what story they whipped up for Rambo the video game.
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, this is
Yeah. we were talking last week about action comedies. I think it was last week. One of our recent episodes. So that's the thing I can say against this is my eyes did kind of start to glaze over a little bit toward the end of it, just because it looks like a lot of movies that I've seen recently.
Yeah. So they got one thing right, which is that I'm glad that he's not a spy and she's not an everyman who goes, "You're a spy?" Because we've gotten
We
60
have a lot of those right now, yeah.
I'm glad we didn't do that. But since the dawn of time, man has been trying to team up a tough person with a funny person. And we have tried to figure out more and more ways to do that. And I feel like the first version of it...
It's just a good idea. A good idea is a good idea.
The first, in the 80s, it was one of them's a cop and the other one is a funny cop.
Or perhaps
and then it was
dog.
Or a witness.
Yeah.
And now we've been trying to figure it out. And so lately it's he's a spy or she's a spy and the other one is not a spy. And that's fine. Again, looking back, it's like I bet people were very sick of the cop movies in the 80s and 90s. And there's so many of those that you forget they exist. That's all to say that now we're trying to figure out something new. So I appreciate that this is a weird-ass fucking plot that doesn't involve spies.
Yeah,
as far as we know.
Yeah.
It's really out there.
Paul Feig's humor is a little... It's the thing about humor. Humor moves
ages. It moves
fast.
so quickly. Yeah.
And if you don't move with it, and like Judd Apatow is another one where it's like he had this thing in 2010, and now it's like, and that doesn't mean these people can't adapt. Like, for the record, it's just a style of humor, the improv style. I don't know. That doesn't mean this isn't funny, for the record. It's just, it's hard. Comedies are hard. Broad comedies are tough, man.
Yeah.
And they don't. Not a lot of them get made anymore.
Yeah. It's really
unless
tough.
it's Netflix.
Unless it's Netflix, and Netflix has the comedy tour and stuff. Like, I got to give credit to Netflix. At least they're like, all right, well, we killed Comedy Central, so something else has to take its place. So it'll be us.
Yeah.
It was good of them. It was noble of Netflix. That's also why they put out the Beverly Hills Cop 4.
Yeah.
We proudly take the
Excited
mantle
for
of
that.
action comedies. Should we?
Anyway.
Yeah. Should we thank some producers?
Yeah, let's thank some producers.
Do it.
Big old thank you to Dan Hackroyd. Thank you. Thank you to David Knife Boot Henson. Thank you to Deborah's Awesome Barber is Great and Cancer Can Go to Hell.
Thank you.
Thank you to Dracula, the bus-driving vampire.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Driftless, Lord of the Wasteland wants you to just walk away.
Thank you.
Thank you to Ed Nog.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Exploding Runes.
Thank you.
Thank you to Funky G Mostly Comes Out at Night Mostly.
Thank you.
Thank you to Harrison Ford's Cloven Grumble Pussy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Heathcliff's Helping Handfuls.
Thank you.
Thank you to Highlander Likes the Way Tom Says Pretty Sweet.
Hey, thanks. Let me swoop in here. Thank you to Ombre.
Thank you.
Thank you to ImpossibleWorlds.net, a magazine, and there's a podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you to Jay, Anya Taylor-Joy's Baron Black Thumb.
Thank you.
Thank you to Chris Shanovich.
Thank you.
Thank you to Lieutenant Frank Drebin, Police Squad.
Thank you.
Thank you to Look Mime on a podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mackenzie Fuck Shuffling with Willem Dafoe's confusingly large dick Chill.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mercurial Oz.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mike the Helldiver.
Thank you.
And thank you to Mongolian Throat Skanking.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So, Inside Out. First
Inside
movie to
Out
make $1 billion.
2.
Box office is doing generally good right now.
Yeah.
It is, in fact, the summer, so that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. The movies are, in fact, back.
Yeah. I didn't know what we were going to talk about here, but Marina, in the notes, you gave me something to talk about.
Yay.
The revelation that you have not seen Inside Out.
I have not. I know vaguely what these movies are about. They're about our feelings, I guess, right?
Yeah. You should see the first one. It'll wreck you.
Will it?
Yeah.
It's like with feels.
With feels. Maximum feels.
This one I haven't seen it yet, but I mean Pixar is good at this where you're like, how can they make more? And they're like, oh, we'll make more, motherfucker. You think we can't make another Inside Out? We'll do it.
You think we can't make a third Toy Story?
Yeah, and we'll wreck you. We'll wreck you completely. This one is clearly about puberty, or at least adolescence, and the emotions that come.
Well, yeah, I thought that was what the first one was about, but I mean, they expanded with more emotions in this one.
The first one was about simple emotion. I don't want to spoil it for Marina specifically, but like I assume they come to a similar revelation. You know?
It's how your emotions mature and develop and evolve, cool. Really.
Yeah, the first one, I don't know. It's I'm gonna have to see it. I didn't need to see it in theaters, especially since it's just filled with children right now. Just a bunch of crapping children.
Yeah, little germ farms.
Yeah, because I went and saw what is it? What did we see? The Watchers? That was it. When I saw the Watchers, the theater was packed, and I was like, oh yeah, all these kids, we're all clearly going to see the Watchers, right? And no, no one was seeing the Watchers.
Oh man, don't take the kids to see the Watchers.
Yeah.
We're going to have our own biological weapon soon to bring into a movie theater.
Indeed.
Yeah. Yeah, you
just
will.
Poop and cough on everybody.
Yeah. But oh God, when you guys have to, sorry, my sister's going through the phase with teenagers or preteens where you go to see the thing with them, but you don't get to sit with them.
Oh, of course.
You have to sit in the back like a weirdo, like you're their security. Which becomes a
like
thing where you
following them.
Yeah, exactly. I know there's like a Jim Gaffigan joke about that.
It's in 8th grade too. Like her dad does it.
Yeah, because suddenly you become a grown adult seeing like the Eras tour by yourself, and I think what happens is there's other adults that are just like, let's sit together.
There must be a tent at the Eras tour for all the parents whose kids don't want them to sit near them.
Yeah, exactly. So that'll be fun.
So yeah, Inside Out 2 made $1 billion.
Yeah, I mean,
good for them.
Yeah.
Good for movies, I guess.
Good for movies. Good for movie theaters.
Disney, yeah, I'm happy for the movie theaters because we are at this point. It's bad, right?
The language of this article, this Variety article that you put in the notes, was really like, oh, thank God, this is proven that movies can still be made. And it's like, really?
What's happening is the movie theaters are just sinking to the bottom, and then once a year, something grabs them and pulls them up for air.
They're
and
getting
then they
waterboarded year
year. They really are, and it's just like we're waiting for that year.
Indiana
where
Jones
like nothing
was supposed
shows
to
up.
save us.
And that's the thing is like
I don't need to.
It's like a lot of things in this country where it's like you're like, God, it's struggling, and then the movies are like, don't worry, we've made another Indiana Jones, and you're like, fuck,
this is why
that's not going to do it, you assholes. Yeah. So it's nice when like a movie,
But a second Inside Out was the balm.
Yeah.
America needed.
It was much like Oppenheimer and Barbie was last year.
Yeah.
Which is weird to remember it was last year.
Yeah, that shouldn't be true. Let's look at this next story.
Yeah, speaking of Comedy Central from a few things ago, Comedy Central deleted their online archive of The Daily Show. I think they shut down like the MTV page and stuff like that.
It was the Comedy Central page. It was basically all of Paramount and Viacom. So it was that page, MTV, a few others. So it's a number of shows, just decades of clips gone forever.
It's a nice reminder that we don't own anything anymore.
Yeah.
Did you see that somebody is stopping physical media? Hold on, I have
it was
Sony
is no longer
is gradually
Yeah, they're no longer manufacturing BDRs, like recordable Blu-rays. So that's, that's less dire than the headline made it sound.
That is so
Yeah.
much less scary.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
just like we're
Goodness,
not
okay.
producing rewritable Blu-rays anymore because who do you know that has ever purchased a rewritable
I was
Blu-ray?
about to say like,
Yeah,
aw, and it's like, who
Oh
gives a
wait,
shit?
literally, I've never seen anyone use one.
I'm honestly weirded out that they started making.
I didn't
them.
even know they. I mean, well, yeah, I probably could have assumed they existed, but it is
Right.
sort of
We've
like
never had
here.
a reason
Oh,
to
I'm sorry.
use one. Oh, nothing. Go ahead.
It was sort of. It was like hearing that like they were announcing that we're no longer producing zip discs. Really?
Right.
Okay.
I mean, for me, it feels like if Gillette was like, we are discontinuing our brand of razors that electrocute you, and you'd be like, wait, what? Yeah, I guess get rid of those.
Yeah.
I don't know why you made them.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean, whatever. But
if they could, right. It's funny that like you could have just that's a thing in before social media, I suppose, that the company would just phase out quietly. Like you
Yeah.
just you remember how you just don't see anything and see something anymore at the store?
yeah, there's a reason.
Yeah.
For that.
You just go in the store and say, "Oh, I guess they don't make this anymore," and then you go
Yeah.
on with your life.
But this,
We never would have
this is a-
known, is my point. They could have got
Right.
rid of Blu-ray BDRs. We never would have known
Never would have
that
known.
they'd done anything. Would have been the perfect crime.
It would have been. This, on the other hand, is such a bummer because
Yeah.
it is like the digital age. The promise was nothing would go away.
We'd had
and what
access to
we're
everything
learning-
forever. Yeah.
Yeah, and what
I
we're learning is
hate
quite the
this.
opposite.
Yeah, and this is so horrible, not just for viewers, but for the people who are still working on the show and need access to the older clips, because
That
those are
was-
gone. And it's like, oh, hey, you spent years of your life on this, and now it's gone.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
There also the crazy thing in that article that you linked in here, the Hollywood Reporter article, is that current people who are working on the show were using these clips as
Yep.
references.
Yep.
Yeah,
Like this was the library that they were using, which is
It's-
bonkers.
Yep.
yeah.
That they
Because
don't
you
have
figure-
the old clips.
Right,
It's
you figure like,
horrible.
why would you? Yeah,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And it is a daily show, so there's thousands of episodes, obviously.
right. And I'm sure
you
they
can't keep 'em
have
all.
some of them backed up somewhere. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's just very silly because I guarantee there's no residuals here, right? I doubt there's a residual issue.
For these clips, I don't think so. Probably.
And what that means is it's probably just server costs.
Um,
It's literally these they do these things they wipe out these little legacies to save themselves such little amounts of money.
Yep.
It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know. It drives me absolutely insane
Me
with this
too.
stuff because it is like we figured in the digital age that the reason nothing would go away is because why would they get rid of it? You know, why would they get rid of a TV show online? It's so easy to have a TV show online or a movie online. It's right there. You know, whereas manufacturing takes money. And what we've learned is that they don't, the moment they can save any amount of money, they're
Yeah.
going to do it. And that's that.
It's
So
so
it's like-
freaking short-sighted.
Yeah. They don't care. They don't care about the actual legacies of these things.
Yeah.
They are just trying to save a fraction of a dollar or something like that. It's ridiculous.
This one got me on like a personal level because
Yeah.
you know, you guys and I, you know, doing all of our writing work and losing just
Oh,
these
yeah.
business people making decisions that destroy like the you know, the creativity that you've been able to be part of, and just wrecking things for creatives
Right.
left and
And
right.
why can't they just all they had to do is announce it, like at least give people time so someone would go on and rip all the things.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, the people will do it for you, and this is why like it's like this weird balance of them, like they also hate torrenting and I know so many people who have kind of gone back to that because of how they do all this. So they're like, you don't get to have it yourself. You don't get to store it through the people. We will get mad at you for doing that, but also we won't have it. You know, and it's like, well,
Nobody gets it.
Yeah, and it's like, fuck you too, I guess. I don't know.
Now I feel like
Throwing the whole birthday cake away, and now nobody
Yeah.
gets it.
It feels spiteful.
And if you just broadcast that you're just going to keep doing this, people are just going to be torrenting all of your stuff, knowing that this is coming eventually.
Oh, I know people who have servers now, databases, personal servers, because they realize, like, even if there isn't an apocalypse, this shit goes away, and it's like, if you don't buy physical media, if you want another way, like, you can get like a big hard drive and make a server and stuff like that for your house. Basically, you can make your own Netflix these days, and I get why people do it, because it's like, that shit's unreliable. I would happily pay money if these services were more reliable, you know?
Absolutely.
The sneaking of ads, like, I haven't noticed, but like, or it's like a slow Paramount Plus, for example. Yeah, it just feels like watching TV sometimes. Mm-hmm. And it's like, they're just so greedy. Like, you give them anything that this, like, streaming was supposed to save us.
Right. It's like when I'm watching the new season of The Boys, and it's like, this presentation is presented with limited ads courtesy of blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it's presented with limited ads courtesy of me.
Yeah.
Paying for it.
A friggin' $130 subscription or whatever it is to Amazon Prime.
Every time they get a little bit of money, and they go, well, what if we could get more money?
What if we could get a little more money? What if everybody gave me $1?
Exactly. And so it's like, let's take this thing that you're already paying for and cram it with ads and, like, take shit away because we don't want to play residuals. And, like, it's just, you're right. Shit.
It's all bottom line, and nothing is. Everything will be eaten up by that. So it's.
And for this, there is a clip that I will watch every now and then to make myself feel better. With John Oliver, when he was a correspondent, did a bit where it was like a Monty Python sketch where they showed a clip of a British general, and his name just happened to be Jock Strop. And then
I remember that one.
Yeah, and John Oliver comes on, and he's like, it's don't laugh at his name. In fact, I'm going to read a list of fallen British soldiers during the war, and it's just a series of the funniest, dumbest names he could come up with that Jon Stewart absolutely hadn't heard before. And it's just Jon Stewart losing his fucking mind. As John Oliver, in a completely straight face, is just naming funny British names.
Yeah, absurd British names.
I remember Remington Snatch was one. And it was, and that clip might be lost.
It probably
I'm sure it's on YouTube.
I mean, well,
I don't know.
Yeah. That's the one last thing I wanted to say is it's something that was written in this article too, but it's just, and a thing that we've been finding is increasingly true as, we continue to work on the internet for however many years and trying to just make archives of your own stuff is it really disappears way. I don't like it's interesting that we always used to hear like you said, the internet's forever and we have this infinite storage space that just is going to have all the knowledge and all the everything every human's ever created, and it's like, no, this stuff goes away in like 8 years.
Yeah.
Has a really short shelf life.
Yeah. I just clicked on British fallen soldiers, and the only place is dailyshow.com, and guess what? It's gone.
Man.
Dang.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Close your eyes and picture it.
Yes. I never got to see it.
I mean, I'm sure someone will
It'll be somewhere.
We'll
find it somewhere.
That's what's going to happen. Some fucking maniac will, like, dig out their, like, they've been recording every episode of The Daily Show. Jon Stewart's parents will be like, oh, yeah, we got it. We got it.
Have you guys been archiving your stuff?
4,200 episodes.
Yeah. Have we been what?
Have you guys been archiving your stuff?
No, God, no.
Oh, good, Tom.
Oh, good on you, Tom.
Dave,
for me,
archive
it's all
your stuff.
It's Tibetan sand art, baby. Comes and goes. I'm so lazy.
Well, I can't wait to show our daughters some of the stuff that Tom has done.
Oh, yeah. And then some stuff you're going to have to, like...
Yeah. Other things
and
you're
then
going to have to be like,
Other things we never speak of.
Yeah. And then some stuff she'll just be like, what is Time Cop? And you're like, well, you'll see soon enough. Like, there'll be certain things where it's like, I don't get it. I don't even... Can't even. It'll be
That's
like showing
actually-
something to an alien.
That's actually the
If she-
thing that I'm most terrified of being a parent is when I
What?
do inevitably sit her down to watch Time Cop, and she's like, "This is not very good."
Oh yeah. Oh, that will hurt
you're
if
like,
that
"Get out."
happens.
Get out of the house.
If she
She'll
says
be
that,
like,
we
"I'm
didn't do a good
6."
job.
I don't care.
Sleeping outside
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah, get the tent. Get the tent.
Sorry, Marina, you were saying something?
Oh no.
Just that if she says that, we haven't done a good job.
Yeah. No, you have to start them. You have to like Clockwork Orange it, right? Where
Yes.
you show it to them from the start, so that when they one day they start seeing other things and they're like, wait, there's a world outside of Time Cop.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's. Shall we thank some more producers? All right, more producers, folks. I'm really clearing the throat. Big old thank you to Mr. Tell Your Wife how many Patreon subscriptions you have before you agree to buy a house.
Thank you.
Thank you to musical guest Darius Rucker.
Thank you.
Thank you to Norm from Cheers.
Norm.
Thank you to Pete Forpagel.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Numino Ultramicroscopic Silico Volcanoconiosis Anti-Disestablishment Terrorism Jones. Thank
Hey,
you.
Thank you.
Thank you to pre-order Jason Parchin's new book so he can keep making big feats.
Do it.
Thank you to Psychic Bigfoot.
Thank you.
Thank you to Rev MD.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Ricky Cilantro.
Thank you.
Thank you to Rosemary's Baby from Eraserhead.
Thank you.
Thank you to Screaming Horse Pyramid.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Sorry Cop, world's most laughable centrist.
Thank you.
And thank you to Steven.
Deffen. All
Thank
right.
you.
All right. It's my turn. Thank you to the conveniently placed self-destruct button on the top of every baby's head.
Thank you.
Thank you to the ghost of Dave Thomas.
Thank you.
Thank you to the evil midnight patron with patrons at midnight.
Thank you.
Thank you to the municipal medicinal arsonist.
Thank you.
Thank you to the oatmeal savage.
Thank you.
Thank you to the To-Be Terror Bunny thinks you could use more Rutger Hauer in your media diet. And how?
Yes.
Thanks to these 7 Bs.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tiger George Pratt Thompson. Raindrops keep falling on my head.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tip Drizzle.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tux.
Tux.
Thank you to Vincent.
Thank you.
Thank you to Why Did You Take a Flying Fuck at the Moon?
Thank you.
Thank you to Yorgos from the island of Crete.
Hey.
And thank you to your mom.
Thank you.
Your mom.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Dave.
Yeah.
Dave.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here we are at the knot at the end of time, the omega of all things
Right.
that binds the universe together with the inextricable truths that we learn as passengers in this reality.
Sure.
Do you have a movie that deserves more hype?
I do.
Hey!
I have a movie that deserves more hype. This is a weird one. This is called Midnight Taxi. There are other movies called Midnight Taxi, so this is the new one. There's probably a lot. There's probably fucking porns named this.
There's probably
this is
actual
coming out-
taxi companies called Midnight Taxi.
You're right. This is coming out July 23rd on VOD. What's interesting about this movie is that no one has really seen it. It is completely new filmmakers. They didn't go to film school. They took some workshops, and I only know that because they did a Reddit AMA. Not even an AMA. I think it was in like the Reddit filmmakers subreddit, and they're just like, "Hey, we made this movie." And it briefly came out in LA and like had a premiere in theaters. But it's pretty much just coming out on VOD. Very much a movie that deserves more hype in that regard. I should probably say what it's about. It's about a guy who's driving a taxi around, I believe, London.
At midnight.
At midnight, I do believe. He was a sleepwalker as a kid. He had a sleepwalking problem. And then he finds a dead body in the road. And it becomes kind of a murder mystery where he thinks perhaps he is involved because he starts waking up in weird places and he is having dreams of the murder murder itself, and basically he's not sure, but he thinks maybe he's sleepwalking in a way that is involved in this woman's murder. It looks very kind of surreal and weird. It's a series of conversations, a lot of it, and in fact it's guerrilla style filmmaking. Looking into what the filmmakers did, again, according to their Reddit post, they set up multiple cameras and multiple microphones just in a taxi cab or a car and drove around stealing a lot of shots at like 3 a.m. and doing these scenes while they were in like a car. Like they had a second vehicle that they were like transmitting to so they could watch and kind of direct from there. And so like I do think they leave the taxi in it. Like you can tell there's clearly other things they did that were a little less guerrilla, but a lot of it is like a guerrilla filmmaking style for what appears to be like a really cool thriller with a really neat plot. What you guys think of this?
I'm definitely interested. I love low budget films. I love to see the creative ways that people are forced to make it work. And this looks like a lot of fun. Yeah,
I think so too. It's a cool thriller idea. I know there's been similar ideas. Like, sleepwalking has always been.
Mm-hmm. And whatever that one about the live streaming Uber driver starring Steve Harrington.
There's
reminded
a
me a little bit of that.
Yeah, and then the use of a no budget filmmaking tactic.
Yeah, it's really. I like this trailer. At first, I was kind of like,
really
I wish.
Trailer.
Yeah, at first I was kind of like, I wish they would have told me more about what it's about.
Right.
Because you really don't. I think we're getting a lot of this plot from the write-up of the film, but the trailer itself doesn't really reveal much, other than that he finds a body at the beginning of the night, and he continues to see her throughout the different stops he makes and places he goes and stuff.
Yes.
So yeah, I like that it's not really. It's more like of a vibe thing. Than really telling us what's going on. And I'm into that, as you guys know.
Oh yeah.
If you listen to the show for a while.
I think this is important to point out because I think when I described what it is, people are imagining like it looking like Cash Cab, and you look at this, like I'm looking through the trailer again. I actually wouldn't have known from looking at the trailer that they did it. They shot it the way they did.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why is there's a clear like they swap out the angles to fit the drama of the scenes and stuff like that. There's like low angles. There's different lighting. They're really making it work for them in a way that it doesn't feel like they had to write around that.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't feel like it's shot like a streaming. It's not a found footage. You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
And it doesn't look like a found footage.
I noticed that in one of the shots. Well, in a couple of the shots they show in the trailer, but it seems like there's like 4 or 5 different camera setups just for the front seat of the taxi. So there's a lot of dynamic shots. Collateral was something else it reminded me of. It looks more like Collateral than it does like a found footage movie.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. And it looks way, for a movie that's like mostly a cab, it looks very compelling.
It does.
Because everybody feels vaguely threatening, all the passengers and stuff. And so there's this vibe of like, is he losing his mind or not? Like, that just makes it really cool. So
yeah, the surreal stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one, and I'm glad it's coming out.
Thanks for sharing it with us.
Of course. It's a crime thriller, so it's not a horror for the record. Mm-hmm. Midnight Taxi. Everybody look up the trailer. Yeah. I'm excited for this one. I like a good crime thriller.
Me too.
July
I like Collateral.
Yeah.
July 23rd on VOD. We'll check it out.
Yeah, you will. You all will.
If you know what's good for you.
Yeah.
Unless you want the midnight taxi to come for you. Which you may, actually, if you're at the airport or something.
That's true. I want this. The plot is just going to be him going around being like, everybody has Lyft.
Yeah.
Like, this is bullshit.
There's just no more room for a midnight taxi.
Yeah. Watch this instead of, remember that Sean Penn taxi movie?
Oh yeah, with Dakota Johnson.
Like what was it called?
I don't remember. Daddy-O, I think.
Daddy-O, yeah. I was going to say it's like called like Baby Boy or something. Yeah.
Sure.
Daddy-O.
Daddy-O. Yeah.
What the
Midnight
fuck was
Taxi.
Yeah. Midnight Taxi, folks. Check it out.
I think that's a sode. We've done it.
Woo!
Yeah! Marina, thank you so much for being on.
thank you.
Thank you guys for having me. I love being on this show. It's so much fun.
We love having you on the show. And would you like, at the end of this, to plug things once more?
Oh, sure.
Second plugs.
You can find me streaming video games every now and then when I'm feeling up to it at twitch.tv/heartfistbrain, which is also the name of my Patreon and Twitter account. And if you join the Patreon, which you can do for as low as $1, it's just a really nice, inclusive, kind community. It's a lot of fun to be a part of. A lot of gainfully unemployed people hang out there as well.
It's a feel-good. It's like a feel-good film. It's a feel-good place.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's a real
Yeah,
Ian
everybody should check
McKellen
that
and
out.
the Critic.
Yeah.
That's the general
Yeah.
vibe.
It's a Tokyo Cowboy.
Yeah. And, of course, check out The Baby. Everybody check out
Yes.
The Baby dropping soon.
Yeah.
It will be very soon. It's like a week or 2 or 3 at most.
And we shall monetize it by the end of the year. Don't you worry.
You gonna give it a fucked up celebrity name?
Yeah. Yes. It's like an equation.
You gonna name it DVDR or
Yeah.
something like that?
DVDR
Gonna give
banana
her-
yogurt.
She'll
Yeah.
have like 6 names.
Good.
Yeah. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be a nightmare. So
Yeah,
excited.
she is.
Dave, you should tell him some words.
Yeah.
We have a Patreon. Patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. GAMEFULLY. Unemployed. For $5 a month, you get access to exclusive podcasts like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and Spiel Boys. Boy, we're on season 10 of The X-Files, folks. We also watch movies every Friday night with our patrons. We're actually taking the 4th of July off, but we'll be back.
So
You know we'll be back. We're always back.
we will have a resurgence some
Yes.
20 years later. Like
Oh,
Independence
God.
Day before us.
Yeah.
We
That
also
is probably
have a
what we're going to
store.
watch. Let's be honest.
Everybody suspected it was coming, I'm sure. We also have a store. Head over to GamefullyUnemployed.com. You can find a link to our Teespring store where we have all kinds of cool original artwork and designs. You can get on t-shirts, mugs, stickers, posters, all sorts of things. So slap your independent peepers onto that.
Yeah, God. Everybody watch Independence Day Resurgence.
Give it a
That
shot.
one specifically. The end, it does not, if you haven't seen it, it will not end the way you think.
It goes places.
It
to
goes
space, which is
places.
expected, but it goes beyond.
Yeah, there's a school bus.
It factors heavily in the finale.
That movie's weird. We should all, I want to watch it
We
so
should all
bad.
watch it together as a family.
Yeah.
Let's go
we
do
should.
that. Say goodbye,
Okay.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Our music is produced by Chris Corlew. Find him on Twitter at @thecorlew or go to shipwrecksailor.bandcamp.com. Our channel artwork is by Michael Vincent Bramley. For more of his work, go to mvbramley.art. Episode artwork is by Justin Brown. Available on Twitter as @JustinTBrown or at artnessbyjustinbrown.com. And finally, additional artwork by Starlene Hodge. You can find her work at starlenearts.com or Twitter @StarleneX. Goodbye now.